Y'all ready?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to look at is the first one is going to be the Pocket WavePad app. The next one is the Teacher's Kit app. I know that's the popular one that everybody uses. The next one I'm going to just briefly talk about the Blackboard, how I use that. The camera apps and a little bit with the cell phones in there with that. The Smart Notebook and the Turning Point PowerPoint polling. So those are ones I'm going to briefly talk about. I know it's a long list, but I'm going to get to it. And then I'll tell you my next step at the end. So the first one is the Pocket WavePad here, and notice that you can use it on your iPad, you can use it on your phone, and I just wanted just to test it out and say, what would I use this for? Because the key thing is having these apps, how can you incorporate it in your class? So I thought of this great idea. We'll see if you like it or not. But basically I said, what if I was to record the announcements and put it in Blackboard? Wouldn't that be exciting? How many times when you give the announcements and somebody come to class and they miss the announcements, you have to say it over and over again? How many of y'all been in that position? Okay, this right here is the Pocket WavePad that I'm talking about, the app. Basically, I'm going to have her say it's college enrichment day, so there's no classes. A lot of students don't know that. So therefore, I did put that in a Blackboard to let them know, reminder that there is no classes. So you ready? You know what you're going to say?
It's college enrichment day, so there are no classes. Woohoo!
Okay, that sounds great. So therefore, all you have to do is actually, you have to just click on the record.
It's college enrichment day, so therefore there are no classes. Woohoo!
Woohoo! I'm going to click back on the app there. I'm going to click done. I could have did the play there. I still have a highlight recording 22. And I'm going to hit play.
College enrichment day, so therefore there are no classes.
So I thought that would be a neat idea, basically, to give the, let's give her a hand clap. So again, I can do the recording, I can email it to myself, and I can post it in Blackboard so the students can actually have it there. Okay, so the next one, the popular app that everybody talks about, make sure everybody knows about the Teacher's Kit. The Teacher's Kit is basically an app that allows you to take attendance. When you look at that, you see the little door, so you can actually create a class there, put the students' names in there, and you can actually take a picture, and you can take attendance. So, the advantages is that it happens, you can do it real quick. So when people, as people walking in the classroom and so forth in the beginning, I'm actually taking attendance while they're coming in, and then by the time I'm about to start, I'm already done with attendance. Those students that actually come in a little bit late, they come in at the end of class, and therefore, as they line up, I'm just tapping names and so forth from there. So I have 3 students here. The key thing is if you tap 1 time, that's present. Tap 2 times, that's actually they're absent. Tap 3 times, it's not recorded, and you can start over. Y'all got the taps? 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay, so keep in mind, it doesn't take long to actually take attendance. Okay, and there's class right there. So I'm going to go into his class, and I'm going to click on the class summary. On my class. So this part right here, what you can do is you can click on the plus, and this is when you can add the students' names in. Marshall. And you can put more information, and I click save. Okay, there's Marshall. That's not Marshall's picture, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to click on edit. As they come in on the first day, click on edit again, go to the camera. I'm going to take his picture. Most of the students there, first they ask, what am I doing? And I can use it. The students actually love taking the pictures, and I get some students come back and say, can I take another picture because the hair is different or so forth, or they want another picture. And the interesting thing about it is they're not even looking at this. I'm the one looking at it, but they enjoy taking the pictures. The advantage of this is that now when I go into the attendance, the first week I do not know all my students' names and so forth. Okay, that's what Marshall looks like, and then I know who Marshall looks like. So it helps me learn their names quicker than normal when you're in the classroom there. The other thing is you may say, I am not going to type in all these people's names into the app. How many of y'all were thinking that? That's just too much work. I know exactly what you mean. So what you can do is, on the class summary, there's a button that allows you to import data. I already did my little homework there. So these are from Blackboard. I was able to follow the instructions that they gave me, download the users' names from Blackboard. You know, your attendance is from Blackboard. So therefore, I will import. I'm just going to pick one of my classes there that I put in there. I'm actually putting them into class with Marshall. And there's all my students.
Wow.
Okay, so one way you can type it in manually if you want. It's going to take some time. The other way is you can go to Blackboard, download the file. You know, first day of class, all the students' names are in there. Download it in there, and then we can import it to teacher's kit. And then I can do attendance, Alexis, Angel, and how many clicks is it if they're out?
2.
2. Okay, that person's absent. And you can go through that real quick. The other part is, from there, I do go to Blackboard. Okay, so I do use Blackboard. I use the Safari part of the iPad there, and I actually go in there, and the key thing is I'll just switch back. I'll look at how many students that's absent, and I'll, have those names go in there and do the process of actually putting attendance in for the college. Is everybody familiar with that steps? So I can do that using the iPad also. The other thing is I find having the iPad, I can actually grade assignments while I'm in there. I can check my online class and so forth, and speak, answer people's questions and so forth from there. And I don't even have to go to a desktop. I could be anywhere and respond to their questions they have there. Okay, the next one is the camera roll. Now with the camera roll there, because I have the iPad in my hand and so forth, I'm able to capture images. If we're doing activities in the classroom and I want to be able to capture it and so forth, I'll just take out the camera, take pictures, and have interactive pictures of what the student's doing within the lesson that I actually give them there. Isn't that kind of cool? Don't y'all agree a little bit there? They go back and look at it and say, wow, we did that part. Not only am I capturing, them in their groups and doing stuff, but I actually capture some of the things, some of the assignments I have them do, like maybe do a diagram and so forth. You probably can't really see on this one, but the diagram there, I was able to take a picture of it, and I can actually put it back in Blackboard so that they can go back and look at that, or we can put it in a discussion board and be able to share that information. Some of the pictures that I've taken. We had an exercise using Microsoft Word. We were using shapes and so forth, and they had an assignment that they had to do. So a couple of people did that. Making sure they understand between spreadsheet and PowerPoints and so forth. They did a pretty good job. This was just brainstorming basically the items that they had to talk about. One of the things I do with my students is I actually ask them to Google this item here. I know I have the answer there already, but I have them to Google this item because a lot of people do not know what this is. Raise your hand if you know what this is. Okay, raise your hand if you don't know what this is. Okay, so those people who don't know what it is, you can always go to your phone and Google it. So since it is a technology class, the question is, when you Google it, what are you actually going to type in to find out what this is? This is all I'm holding up to them. Some people say a piece of paper with holes on it. It's very interesting what they type in there. And they end up with on their phone, picture of it on the phone says it's a punch card. So every now and then, sometimes we like to use the phone, realize that most of the students have phones, and if we have exercises, if someone doesn't have, they in a group, someone always have a phone. Then the next one is, that's a good one, is the Smart Notebook. And the Smart Notebook basically helps me prepare for my lecture. I can even prepare for my lecture in advance, or I can use it on the spot. Most of the time I like to use it on the spot. We have a blank sheet of paper. So this right here is an example of my database demo here. Basically it is a student personal table there. And normally when we do that, I always use the students' names, and I make up their last names and guess their ages and so forth from there, and basically trying to get the point across. What I find out is when I do different lectures there is that each class notes is different. Even though it's the same material I'm covering, sometimes we end to go to a different, make a left turn and a right turn, but we still get back to the same process there. So when I look at my different lectures there, I was like, oh, I could do something different, and I can combine those lectures, and I can put it back in Blackboard. So I really like the Smart Notebook. You can use the pen to write the information. Not only that, you can bring in images that's in the program also, and you can work around the images there also. There's so much you can do within this Smart Notebook. I always use a Smart Notebook. Students, depending on what we're doing, sometimes I have them writing up here what we're talking about. and they enjoy learning some new things also. So it's not just about me using technology. I have the students come up there, they learn about the pen and say, oh, okay, it's not as easy, when you're writing the information up there. So the next program I use is Turning Point, the PowerPoint polling. I use it as part of my lecture, and I do use it as a review session. The advantages is that the students are engaging, they're learning the new concepts and so forth from there. They work as teams, and we have a lot of fun with that. So, if you notice to the right there, there's just a sample question, a multiple choice question there. Just asking them, basically it's asking them what is the operating system. And basically we're using the clickers to find out what their responses is. You do have some students that do not like to really raise their hand all the time when you're talking about a subject matter. The clickers allows them to basically have a voice, a quiet voice there, and they can put their answers in there, and then they'll know if it's right or wrong. It's only 3 questions. Are you ready? You all have your clickers? Now keep in mind that the one that I'm using right now is PowerPoint Anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm using the Anywhere part of it because of technical problems, so hopefully it will work. Okay, here's the first question. What app did I use to record the announcements? A, Pockets, B, Pockets WavePad, C, Blackboard, or D, Smart Notebook? I have 12 responses. 13 responses. I don't know how many clickers are out there. Did everybody put your answer in? Okay, so if y'all get this wrong, that's because y'all came in late, right? Okay, so 81% has it correct. 19 picked C because they came in late and they missed that part, right? That's what happened there. So it's good to know where the class is. So when I look at this particular question, I have to go back and say, is there another way that I can convey that information to the students? Maybe I missed something there. So I can kind of evaluate how I talked about that particular step. And the other thing is, even if you do get it wrong, you're still in training. That's the purpose of that. So you can go back and say, okay, I need to study a little bit more in that particular area because I didn't get it right. And the key thing is no one knows that you didn't know the answer. Isn't that great? Yeah. So you can act like you was in one of the categories where it was correct. Okay, so basically the next step is I'm going to look at Evernote's app. I did start looking at Evernote's apps where you actually put it in your notes. So I walked around with my iPad with my notes on there, and I was talking about PowerPoint. And you had to create an account for the Evernote, and I'm still working on that part. So I'm going to investigate more features on that.